Alright guys, we're here at the Sterling Library here in Baytown. I have a very special guest, children's and illustrator of children's books. Miss Glory, how you doing?
Doing good, how are you?
Pretty good, you're my first time guest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, neat.
I asked her not to be nervous, so if we both get nervous, bear with us. So, let's talk about yourself. How in the world you got into writing books for children?
It was always a dream of mine to have a book in the library. I don't know why, and I got something in the mail from that Institute of Children's Literature. So I sent in a story, got into school, and just kept going. So.
How many books do you have out right now?
I didn't count. I think it's like 17.
17? Oh, wow. And are your books here at Sterling or not?
Some of them are, but not all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how many years you've been actually doing this?
Oh, goodness. Long time. I'm trying to remember when I finished the school. I finished the school before my son was born. And he was born in 95. So I probably finished about 92. And then it took me a long time to get published.
Okay.
So.
Can you give our audience an idea or insight what the books are, maybe all about that you write?
They're all Christian-based. They all rhyme. And right now I'm working on series through the alphabet.
Okay.
So each book has a Christian moral lesson to learn at the end. Like there's one on bullying, one on nutrition, one on loving yourself the way God made you, not giving up. So they all have a lesson at the end of the book.
And do you use Bible verses in the books, or?
Not usually. I mean, they mention God. The teachers call them keystone characteristics. And actually, even though they mention God, I've been in the public schools.
Okay.
And I've warned them, now some of these mention God, I said, just do it. They've been very laid back, probably because of this, where we live. But I've been very fortunate. And so I just started reading them, and if anyone throws a fit, they'll tell me at the end.
Okay.
So, but I hadn't had any problems.
Nothing with, freedom or schools versus religion or state versus
No,
religion?
But like I said, they don't all mention God. Even though they have that Christian lesson, they don't all mention God. But some of them do.
Okay. And do you use the fivefold ministry in the books?
The what?
The fivefold and the ministry or the fivefold church, or?
No, just the lessons.
Okay.
Like,
so lesson about itself.
Like the Yoki book, Yoki the Yelling Yak. At the end of the book, it talks about how God made him for a purpose.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he yells.
Okay.
He had a purpose in life. So that's what I mean by mentioning God.
Okay.
They're Christian based. So.
Your next book coming out,
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us more of an insight about that, or?
It's Quentin the Quitting Quail.
Okay.
And it's about a little quail who tries so hard. He tries everything. He tries football, baseball, band, but he just stinks at all of them. So he's jumping on his guitar, throwing a fit, and this girl shows up, and she's a gymnast. And she's like, look, I was horrible at first. And so she's showing how she fell off the beam, and she did this and that. But she said, I kept trying and trying and trying. So she's asking Quentin, what are you good at? What do you love? And so he goes back to football. And so then he realizes it's going to be tough at first. You're going to fail. You fail your way to the top,
Yeah.
And so that's what he did.
Okay.
And then my daughter was a full-time gymnast. So
Oh, wow.
that's why I incorporated the gymnastics in it.
So you use your family pretty well in books as well?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. And that's a good author right there.
Yeah. I have lots of nieces and nephews.
It's like, we never see that, these days and ages where other authors would, put their family in the books like that. They always write something that we want to read, but they don't incorporate the family at all. It's
Well, like Megan the Moody Moose, that's about my sister Megan.
Oh, wow.
I have Hallie the Hungry Horse. Hallie's my nephew. Tate the Tattletale Turkey, my nephew. Presley's my niece. Emily, my sister's in the ebook, so, well, it's dedicated to her.
That's good, that's good. So when's the next book going to be released?
I'm coloring the pictures now.
Okay.
In fact, I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning because I couldn't sleep, so I went in the living room and colored for 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hopefully we'll get a copy of that pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
hopefully.
When's your next outing for your book signings?
I'm going to do the Baytown Christian Academy craft show on December 1st.
Okay.
And then I just got wind the Crosby Huffman one December 8th. I don't know if I can do two that close, if I'll have enough books, but I'll try.
Keep her in mind. And where else can we find your books at?
BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com.
Okay.
So.
And here, of
Yeah.
course.
Well, I
A
think
little bit.
Sterling Library has, 4 or 5 books, or they did. Most of my books are in Mont Bellevue, Anahuac, and Winnie. I think they have the whole set.
Okay, so you know where to find her, guys, and it's very good. I actually have one of your books.
Oh, you do?
Yes,
Okay.
that you wrote, your autograph for my daughter.
Oh, which one was it?
I don't remember,
Don't remember.
but I could relate.
Yeah.
It's a good story. My daughter, I had to read it to my son, and it's it doesn't have to be the children. I mean, we can get the whole family involved and just reading the books to them.
I read to my kids when I was pregnant. I was pregnant, and I would rock in the rocking chair and read books to them in their baby's room.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And I enjoyed that.
Guys, you know where to find her, and if you don't, I have the links of the description below where you can go find her. And the books are pretty reasonable, and they're family friendly for all ages. And again, let's make her the top #1 Christian children's author in the United States or around the world. Let's help her do that. And thank you for watching.